An electromagnetic pulse, or EMP, is a burst of electromagnetic energy. This sudden surge of energy can disrupt or even destroy electronic devices and systems. EMPs can vary in intensity and duration, but their effects can be catastrophic, especially in our technology-dependent world. It can happen naturally, like from a solar flare. These solar events can send massive amounts of charged particles towards Earth, interacting with our magnetic field and causing geomagnetic storms. The beautiful auroras we see are a benign result, but the same phenomenon can also induce powerful EMPs. However, an EMP can also be man-made. Military applications have explored the use of EMPs as a weapon, capable of disabling enemy electronics and communications. Scientists and engineers have developed devices specifically designed to generate EMPs for testing and defense purposes. A high-altitude nuclear detonation could create a devastating EMP. When a nuclear weapon is detonated high above the Earth's surface, it releases a burst of gamma rays that interact with the atmosphere, producing a powerful EMP that can cover a vast area. This pulse is invisible but deadly to electronics. The sudden surge of energy can overload circuits, causing them to burn out or malfunction. Sensitive components in computers, communication devices, and other electronics are particularly vulnerable. It can fry circuits and disrupt communication networks. The impact on data centers, internet infrastructure, and satellite communications could be severe, leading to widespread outages and loss of connectivity. Imagine a silent wave sweeping across the nation, leaving only darkness in its wake. The immediate effect would be a massive blackout, affecting homes, businesses, and critical services. This is the potential threat of an EMP. The cascading failures in the power grid could take days, weeks, or even months to repair, depending on the severity of the damage. The United States relies heavily on technology. From our daily communication to transportation and healthcare, almost every aspect of modern life is intertwined with electronic systems. Our power grids, communication systems, and even our cars depend on electronics. Modern vehicles are equipped with sophisticated electronic systems that control everything from the engine to navigation. An EMP attack could cripple this infrastructure. The loss of power and communication would disrupt supply chains, emergency services, and daily life, creating a ripple effect of chaos and uncertainty. It would be like turning back the clock to a time before electricity. People would have to rely on manual methods for lighting, heating, and cooking, drastically altering our way of life. In the blink of an eye, our modern world would be thrown into chaos. The sudden loss of technology would lead to panic, shortages, and a struggle to adapt to a new primitive reality. The most immediate impact of an EMP would be on the power grid. This grid is the backbone of modern society, powering homes, businesses, and essential services. High-voltage transformers, essential for long-distance electricity transmission, are particularly vulnerable to EMP damage. These transformers are massive and complex, making them difficult to replace quickly. These transformers are not easily replaced. The manufacturing and installation process can take months, if not years, to complete. A nationwide blackout would follow an EMP attack. Cities would be plunged into darkness, and the ripple effects would be felt immediately. Hospitals would rely on backup generators, but these have limited fuel. Once the fuel runs out, critical medical equipment would cease to function. Life support systems would fail, putting countless lives at risk. The inability to provide essential medical care would lead to a healthcare crisis. Medical care would become nearly impossible. Food would become scarce as supply chains break down. Refrigeration would be non-existent, leading to spoilage. Perishable goods would rot, causing food shortages and waste. Transportation systems rely on electricity and would be paralyzed. Public transit, electric cars, and even traffic lights would stop working. Deliveries of food and other essential supplies would stop. Supermarkets would quickly run out of stock, leading to panic and hoarding. Water treatment plants would also shut down. These facilities are crucial for providing clean water to urban and rural areas alike. Access to clean drinking water would disappear, leading to dehydration and disease. Communities would struggle to find safe water sources, exacerbating the crisis. In the aftermath of an EMP, urban and rural areas would face different challenges. The impact of an electromagnetic pulse would ripple through every aspect of life, creating a stark contrast between city and countryside. Cities, densely populated and heavily reliant on complex infrastructure, would be hit hard. The intricate web of technology and services that keep urban life running smoothly would come to a grinding halt. Access to food, water, and medical care would be limited. Supermarkets would quickly run out of supplies, and water distribution points would become lifelines for desperate residents. High population density would exacerbate these problems. The sheer number of people in a confined space would make it difficult to manage resources and maintain order. Competition for resources could lead to social unrest. Tensions would rise as people scramble for the essentials, potentially leading to conflicts and protests. Rural communities, while not immune, might fare slightly better. The lower population density and a closer connection to the land could provide some advantages. They often have greater self-sufficiency. Many rural residents grow their own food and have access to natural water sources, reducing their dependence on external supplies. Many rural residents have experience with farming, well water, and off-grid living. Skills in manual labor and alternative energy sources would be invaluable in such a crisis. However, reliance on modern conveniences like electronic pumps and farm equipment would still pose significant challenges. The breakdown of machinery and the scarcity of fuel would test the resilience of rural communities, highlighting the need for adaptability and resourcefulness. Section 4. The fight for survival, social unrest, and the rule of law. The breakdown of infrastructure and scarcity of resources would likely lead to social unrest. Crime rates could skyrocket, looting and violence might become commonplace, law enforcement would struggle to maintain order. Communication systems would be down, hindering coordination and response efforts. The government would face immense challenges in providing relief and restoring order. The scale of the disaster would overwhelm existing resources. The interconnected nature of critical infrastructure would make recovery a complex and time-consuming process. In the absence of electricity and communication, communities would need to find ways to support each other.